heartiest welcome back to all our subscribers, our friends. This is 4 a.m. Talks podcast. I'm your host, Manoj Velu. So, this is Stories with Manoj Velu, and this is our very important and very crucial episode for both as a host, for me as an individual, and for you as well as listeners, or if you're watching it on YouTube, you are going to have a very good, I would say, not as crucial as you think, but today is the most important day because this is the most important topic that I wanted to bring you. So you may ask me, what is that topic that you wanted to you know bring today in this episode, and wanted to make us go back and reflect on the episode that you always wanted to tell, and you are really in that zone. So yes, I would say yes, I am in that zone, and I really wanted to really make an impact in this episode. Always wanted to have a big impact on you guys in all the episodes, but this episode is really important. Now, with that, let's get right into the topic. So what is that thing that I wanted to tell you in this episode? I will reveal it to you in some time, but let me first tell you the story so that you will understand the context. Now, let's imagine John Carpenter. John Carpenter goes to his father and he asks, Dad, there are so many professionals, so many professions, and so many professionals in working in that particular industry, but why very few achieve, and why very few get to that extraordinary result that they always wanted to? Dad, John Carpenter's dad, explains John Carpenter. He asks, why did you ask this question? John's dad was really curious about John's answer. John came up with an interesting point. He said, Dad, you know what? I wanted to become one of them. I wanted to be in that list. The list? Yeah, if you take basketball, the greatest basketball player is Michael Jordan. If you take cricket, the greatest cricketer is always, Sachin Tendulkar and Don Bradman. So both play an important role in their ages. So, and then, if you take other games, there are certain people, let's say for example, if it's tennis, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, now it's Djokovic. So all these players, why are they the best in their professional? I wanted to know that. I wanted to become one of them in that industry, in whatever I'm going to. So, John's dad explained him. It's an interesting point that you made, but I read an article few days back which said, it asked the question of who is the greatest basketball player of all time. You would easily guess it's Michael Jordan, but the answer said it's not Michael Jordan. John Carpenter was confused. Then John Carpenter's father further explains the second question was, who is the best cricketer of all time? You would guess it right. Don Bradman, Sachin Tendulkar. These two are the greatest. And it said neither one. Next, he asked the question, who's the best tennis player of all time? They went up and said, Roger Federer and other people. It said no. John was really, curious on what his dad is going to say. His dad told John, listen, John, it's really simple. The one who is the best in certain industry are not the best, because the best one are the ones who never tried. Imagine how many people would have been more talented than Michael Jordan. Imagine how many people would have been talented than Sachin Tendulkar and Don Bradman. Imagine how many people would have more talent than Roger Federer. There are so many people, but the world will never remember only Michael Jordan, Don Bradman, Sachin Tendulkar, Roger Federer. Why? Because there is this one particular thing that they did which separated them from everyone. You want to know what it is? It is a very simple thing. You hear this every single time. Every single time. You want to know what it is? This is the topic that is for today. And John's father asked John the same question. You want to know what is that secret? The secret is really simple. I am telling you that this secret is really, really, really simple. The secret is you shouldn't quit. It's very simple. It's that simple. So, there would have been numerous circumstances for everybody apart from, Michael Jordan, who wanted to become the best basketball player. They would have had some circumstances where they would have given up on the game, or they would have been lazy. Because people who work hard but do not have the talent can match up to those who have talent in some on some particular day, and then eventually they're going to play really well than the person who's talented, because he is consistently working towards it. He's constantly improving. And there would have the same situation would have occurred to Michael Jordan as well, but he remembered that his goal was very clear. He wanted to become the best basketball player. Same goes with Sachin Tendulkar. He had to travel the distance between his home and the coaching center was really far, and he had to he even slept while coming back to his home. And it is really important, and it's an inspirational story that you could take. But in reality, who would do that? He imagine if Sachin would have just said, I'm not going to travel that far. He understood that the game is the real important thing. There is nothing more than the important of the game. Not even Sachin Tendulkar, not MS Dhoni, not Virat Kohli, not Messi, not Ronaldo, not Jordan. No, nobody. The game is the most important thing. So the same thing in your industry. You are important, but the most important thing is your industry. So if I'm doing the podcast is the most important thing. If I do or not, podcast will eventually go. It is eventually going to go better. It is already an established industry, and it will go and reach further heights even if I'm not there. But what is your significance on that industry is all what it matters. With that, imagine these people. These are the icons. These are your role models. Ask yourself, how many difficult, there will be so many difficult circumstances, within them they would have carried forward, but they wouldn't have let people know. Imagine, you only know half or even 30% of what they have went through, but imagine the rest 70% which they haven't told anybody. So many things, but when it was game time, they did the best, and they know that they wanted to be that guy who always got there and do his best. So this is the most important thing. They never quit in any situation. I heard that Michael Jordan had played with 102-degree fever. Would you do your work when you have a flu with 102 degrees? It's a question to you. Ask yourself these questions whenever you're reading an article. I've seen so many people are reading very good articles. They're really having that knowledge to understand what it is that a person is going through, but Just put you in that person's shoes and see, whether you would have done it. That is the price. That it is because they understood that the game is the most important thing. Kobe Bryant also did the same thing. He also played with the fever. He had, played with his broken arm. He made sure that he shoots the ball in his left hand. His right arm was injured. So all these things are really, really important. They never quit. They could have simply said, I'm not just going to play this game. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch people play. No. They know they are the most important people and they have to be there and make sure that their team wins. So, if you are in a team project and if you are the main guy, can you finish the project even if you're not in that zone to finish it? The zone is in a way where you have so much of stress, so much of things going on on your external things, but can you do it irrespective of whatever is going to happen to you, and make sure that the project is given at the best, it is delivered to the best to its clients, and whatever it could be. You could be in any industry. It doesn't matter. It's not necessary that you need to be in sports or other professionals. It's not like that. You could be a writer. Can you write it down? Can you write the best story that has ever written in the history? Can you challenge that? Can you go after it? What it really means to you? How many people can you touch the heart when you're writing a story or a poem or a music or whatever it could be, whatever you're trying to say to the audience? Can you do to the best of your ability or even go past it? How can you do that? It's always asking the right questions and asking yourself that whether you want to quit. At some point of time you may say, oh no, I may not write the best story possible. You may say, I'm not going to play the game, I'm too tired, or I'm having a fever, I'm not going to go. No, it's okay, man. It's okay, no problem. But the one who shows up and the one who never quits, eventually he is developing that muscle power to say to himself that no matter what happens, no matter any setback that could happen to a person, eventually I'm gonna do whatever it takes to become the person that I wanted to be and to achieve the dream that I always wanted to achieve. So I wanted to shout out, want to congratulate each and everyone who's always wanted to achieve their dream, even though it seems impossible at this moment. I congratulate you. Seriously, man. It's really tough. I understand. It's not that easy, and remember, it's not going to always be that easy, because the dream should always be an impossible one. You are chasing an impossible one, and you always wanted to make it possible. So it's not going to be easy. You're going to figure out the ways, but the most important thing that you're going to tell to yourself is, whenever any setback comes, whenever any downfall happens, try to ask your question, whether I'm going to quit on this, or just ask the question whether this is another opportunity to learn and grow forward. If you are quitting it, it's the end of the game. You have to live with it. It may turn into regret, and that is the worst feeling ever. I've told in the numerous episodes that I've done till now that regret is the most horrible thing that you have to face. The man in the mirror is very difficult to face. If you are having that kind of regret that you didn't went out and performed to your best, and to yourself there is nobody is going to tell you that, that's the harsh truth. So if you're okay with that, go out there and quit. But if you're one among them, and if you really want to win and get to that position where you always wanted to be, achieve whatever you wanted to achieve, then say to yourself that I'm not going to quit. eventually I'm just going to learn and become better. There are so many things that people are going to tell you. These are the things that John Carpenter had told John. So I'm just telling it in perspective of John's dad, and you're John, you're listening to it. So just hear it out. No matter what happens, people are going to put you down. It's the harsh truth. You're going to live with it. People in your closest circle may not believe in you. Even your parents may not believe in you. Your close friends may not believe in you. So even your teacher may not believe in you. It doesn't matter. The only thing that you need to remember is you are believing in yourself and you are going after it. You are, getting better each day. And that is the most important thing. The progress is always there, one step at a time, and the process, it is eventually going to take you to wherever you want it to go. So all these things matter, and there are going to be things of self-doubt. This is the most important thing where, the dreams crashes. It's very important. Someone's dream could crash right away if the self-doubt starts dominating in their mind, and eventually they're going to think, oh my god, I think my friend is right. I'm not that good at it. Maybe I'm not that good enough to achieve the dream. Maybe I'm not good at this. But imagine if you start telling to yourself that, yes, I am not good at this, but I'll figure out a way to improve on this and go after my dream and make sure that my dream is always alive and it's not dead. So this is the most important thing that you need to tell to yourself. That is why I told you this episode is really intense. If you look at me and how I went about this episode, you would understand that this is coming right from the heart. Obviously everything that whatever I just say to you guys always comes out from my heart, but this is truly the most important thing, and I want you to reflect on this episode. Very, very important one, and you go out there and reflect back and make sure that you grow and you do not quit. So with that being said, have a wonderful day, everyone. You look at me, man, I'm sweating, so it's a really cold day. I'm just kidding, man. It's 35 to 37 degrees here in Bangalore. It's a very hot day, and I just finished my my shift. It was a 12-hour shift. It's a long day, but I had to shoot this episode. I've come up and I made sure that I'm not quitting on my episodes that I had to do, and my sister is here as well. She's not well, but she's still supporting the team. That is the most important thing. We are working as a team, and that is eventually the most happiest thing that we are really happy for that. And I always wanted to thank you for always coming back to this episodes, really listening to it, going back and reflecting on the episodes, and you're growing, and that's the happiest part that we always wanted to cherish every single day, every single minute. So with that being said, have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you on Friday. See you. Bye.